Hello, Internet capitalists, and welcome to episode 25 of The Big Show. We're filming together today from Bloomington, Indiana. Benjo, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Market's taking a breather, trading down a little bit. So everyone on crypto Twitter is losing their minds on a little correction, but I feel pretty comfy. Yeah.
Yes, it's been a good 2 weeks. Good 2 weeks. Now, before we jump into that though, because my Indiana Hoosiers lost last week at the Ohio State Buckeyes and I lost a bet, I have to give a shout out to my good friend Dr. Greg Gauntz. Dr. Gauntz is a huge Ohio State fan. This was the bet that I would give him a shout out on our podcast that's seen by people worldwide. So I'm doing that now. Just to be clear, Gray did not go to Ohio State University. He went to Youngstown State University, which is affectionately known as the Harvard on the Mahoning. So, Gray, congratulations on your victory. Now back to the show, Ben.
Nice.
Yes.
That was great. Well, thanks for that. Congrats, Mr. Gauntz, on the winning bet.
Yeah.
And I'll leave that go. I know you're not feeling
It's hard.
That's okay.
It's
Hey,
hard.
at least crypto markets are still relatively up. And with that, I think we just jump right into markets. There's a lot to talk about since a couple weeks ago because our last show was on, you said November 15th.
Yeah.
So we saw Bitcoin and everything really start like running up initially after the election. And then we really had a first leg after that, just in response to the regulatory prospects improving. And then we got actually a second leg up where we saw some other assets pump, others not, and like a lot going on in markets. So I think we can just pull up the Bitcoin chart to start with. But
Yes, pull
any
that up.
thoughts on what you've been looking at?
So you've told me for months and months and months just to wait to see how crazy it gets in a true bull market. And while all the macroscopic stuff happened and I thought we'd be in a bull market a lot earlier, this is a crazy time to see Bitcoin just pull everything along with it. And now pretty clear Bitcoin is stalled, but some of the other coins, Ethereum and other the alts are continuing to go upward. There's a little bit of talk about meme coins and stuff, which we'll talk about a little later, which is still sort of crazy to me.
Well, meme coins were the market leaders. I don't think you should frame it that way. Besides Bitcoin, meme coins were the market leader in alts, and that's actually shifting, and we can talk a bit more about that. But let's just start with Bitcoin right now. So you see the chart. This is the range we've been in while we've had the show, basically. Because we had that run up, we started the show, and then we were in this range. We're like, will we ever get out of here?
Exactly.
And we got out of the range, and it went crazy. So Bitcoin doubled, or not doubled. It went from about 40, 50% gain in like a matter of 3 weeks.
Yes.
So we were at like 67,000. And then I'll read you these candle percentages.
Okay.
17%, 11%, 9% consecutive candles.
Wow.
Yeah.
So weekly candles.
That's 37% in 3 weeks on a massive asset. Like at the time, like $1 trillion asset, and now it's bigger. And as you can see where we're sitting right now, Bitcoin's actually retraced. So the TLDR is that Bitcoin hit $99,700.
Yes.
And our good friend Michael Saylor was trying to push it over the 100K mark with $5 billion clips that he was unloading into the market. But he could not push us over, and now we're retracing, and Bitcoin's at about $91,000. But it was a crazy 3 weeks. Any thoughts on Bitcoin here, where it goes? Any opinions on?
So one thing that occurred to me is just like in the normal market, if you miss the few days when these assets rocket, you're missing 80% of the gain. Just like the regular market. If you're not in the market for those days, you have a chance.
Well, it's worse in crypto. I'd argue. Volatility is massive.
Yeah, you miss those gains. Well, that's the first thing. Are we going to talk about Saylor now or going to wait till later on that?
We can talk about Saylor. That's fine. But I'll just second your point there. And then the other thing I want to do, I'll switch to a daily chart here because we have a few zones that we can look at for retracement that people are targeting. So a lot of people think that we either just bounce right here around like this little mark that we had around 87, 88,000. That's the zone we were trading in before this next run up to 100K. But if not, we could retrace a little more. And I'm not doing TA on the chart right now. But the one thing I will note is that alts look strong for this little retracement in Bitcoin. We can get into that next. But Saylor, I know you watched the video and you sent it to me about the whole thing he's doing with issuing convertible debt just to buy more Bitcoin. And give me your thoughts on that.
So fundamentally, I looking at the math of it, and the TLDR is why buy one share of master whatever microsystem. What is it called?
It's MSTR.
MSTR. Yeah, MST MicroStrategy. When you can just buy easily now one share of, or one Bitcoin, not a share, but one Bitcoin. It seems like it's not a good of a deal. Now, I guess there's some financial wizardry going on, but it looks a little bit like, later investors are propping up earlier investors in his whole deal. Now, if Bitcoin keeps going up, I don't think there's any problem. Everyone will be happy. Some will be happier than others, but everybody will be happy. But at some point, if he owns too much or some other structural thing happens, I'm not sure how this unwinds.
Yeah, I don't want to comment on kind of the mechanics of the whole system that he's doing because I'm not well versed in it. I watched a quick overview. But regardless, I think it is actually a pretty big tail risk for one publicly traded company to own like over 1% of all Bitcoins. Because if something happens like within the company, it could be really anything. It might not even be market related. Just to Saylor within the company, anything could happen. That's a big risk for Bitcoin, actually. And then just because the crypto markets are so correlated, you could see that nuke the whole market at some point in the next few years. So this is definitely something to keep your eye on. As I learn more, I'll update you guys with my thoughts. But it does seem like his infinite money printer of just borrowing money, buying Bitcoin, and then repeating, wash and rinse, doesn't feel like it could go on forever. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and the thing I don't get is when the equivalent money in MSTR buys less Bitcoin than just buying Bitcoin on an ETF or just yourself. So I don't quite understand why in the long run it's better to buy MSTR. I guess it's an asset that has valuation based on what the market says it has valuation as, but it just seems a little strange to me. That's all.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know the situation well enough, so I'm not going to comment. But
maybe we should have him on the show. I should reach out to him and have him explain to me in a more technical way why this works.
He seems like a busy man. If you can get him, we'll talk to him.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fair enough. All
right. Let's just switch. Let's go on with market. Saylor's doing his thing. But we'll look at ETH here. ETH has looked strong, particularly within like the last few days to a week, like with Bitcoin trading downward after this. So that's encouraging here. We're still off a bit from all-time highs, but I feel the sentiment turning for ETH here. And we're currently trading at about 3,300. This week we traded up to about 3,550 intra-week. And yeah, I don't know. Tides are turning. It seems like Bitcoin has run its course. And what's typically happened in previous cycles is Bitcoin will reach new all-time highs. It'll stall for a bit, trade up and down. And then once the market feels comfortable with Bitcoin trading in a certain range, confident that it won't go significantly lower, that's when you see Ethereum and other altcoins move. And a lot of people believe that's the market that we're going into. And I'm of the belief that Ethereum, again, not financial advice, we're not financial advisors. If you listen, you'll lose all your money. But I'm of the belief that Ethereum and Ethereum eco plays are going to do very well over the coming months. And
yeah, I agree with that. We've always agreed with that. It seems like this is at least historically, this is the setup that's always led to gains in Ethereum. And it certainly did push higher very quickly and is, I think, maintained that level a little bit better than Bitcoin has. So we'll see if there's another leg up here coming.
Well, it was a laggard. To be clear, like with the current bull market so far, basically what you got was Bitcoin and meme coin supremacy. So you had multiple meme coins explode to over $1 billion valuations, and those were really eating up the mind share of most crypto market participants, along with Bitcoin. And some of the other altcoins that you have, like ETH, Solana performed pretty well because it was the trading venue for these meme coins. Other than that, some of the more traditional altcoins like DeFi coins, DePIN, other sectors really were laggards. And I actually think that the market's gotten somewhat exhausted with kind of like the meme coin craze, and you're gonna see a shift back to these more fundamental value tokens. So I'm actually really bullish on tokens like I've been mentioning, like Lido, like Aave, like Maker, these blue chip DeFis that have been around a while and quite frankly have very suppressed valuations for the current market. Yeah. So, and I think you actually might see institutional interest earlier than most people are expecting. Like you're going to see some interest in these projects and using them and investing in the tokens. And I think that as a narrative will actually catch hold and will really boost these over the next like year. So I think that's something to keep your eye out for.
So with a lot of these, and you mentioned Lido as an example, and Uniswap, another example, Aave. These are like I couldn't believe that Lido is the largest protocol in Ethereum with 33 billion assets. This is the largest protocol, that isn't on the front page, right? And with the new, or not new, but perceived lack of regulation coming, or allowance of things like payments to token holders as dividends or whatever you want to call that. A lot of these kind of blue chip, blue blood tokens could find their way into institutional ETFs or things like that. I don't know how else they package it, but something like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's going to be more easy for these protocols to distribute funds that they're generating in terms of revenue, to their investors. And like, I'll give you guys a little bit of alpha too for Lido specifically. Why I'm bullish, and not financial advice, is because they've hinted in their recent roadmap for 2025 that they're exploring the possibility of tying rewards from their liquid staking product. So a part of the ETH rewards that they get from staking that moves to the protocol will be redirected to the LDO token. And they've already stated this. And it's a $33 billion protocol. So that's pretty significant. And if this is allowed in the United States, then that could happen pretty quickly. And I think that's a huge boon to Lido. And these charts, like, as you can see, like, the protocol's only grown over time. TVL, activity, all that stuff only. But the valuations has just been huge laggards. Like, this is smaller than, like, 5 to 10 meme coins. And a lot of these valuations in general are just kind of insane. But on a relative basis, there's a lot of room to move. And you see the same thing with Aave. And I think you're going to at least get a rotation to these fundamental protocols. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on currently. And I think it'd be a little refreshing, to have, we can talk about what's actually useful in crypto. Yeah. So you see the 2021 highs here, and Lido, like the others, and Aave are 4 to 5 to 6 to 7x off of their highs.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah. So we'll see. Last one I'll pull up here is Solana. Solana hit an all-time high earlier this week before it sold off along with Bitcoin. So you can see here. You can see my little doodles here. I was trading this earlier this week. But you see it hit the all-time high here at about, I think it hit 265, 267-ish before trading back down, currently at 231. So congrats, Solana. And I guess that moves into our next topic, Pump Fun, the largest protocol on Solana, which is a meme coin launcher, had some issues this week. Any comments there? Or?
Yeah, I'd say storm clouds on the horizon for Solana and Pump.Fun. I didn't...
Solana hater.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really realize... I knew what Pump.Fun was, but did not really follow it at all to see the craziness of videos and things like that.
That was just enabled, was the issue.
Yeah.
So for context, Pump Fun is a meme coin launcher. You can launch your meme coin. People can buy them easily. If they get to a certain market cap, they graduate and are able to be traded on some of Solana's dexes with liquidity. And it's like this interesting system for launching meme coins. But they recently added a live stream feature to the app, which lets token creators live stream. And a bunch of crazy stuff was going on the live streams. And they had to shut the feature down within a couple days because it was really pretty disgusting stuff. Yeah. And this goes back. I remember months ago, right when we started this, Solana, or maybe right before, Solana had an issue with like all these racist meme coins on the platform as well. And this is actually like an issue. Solana is probably the world's greatest casino. There's a use case for it. People love to gamble. It's fast. Maybe there'll be some other use cases as well with DePIN networks. But you can't deny people like to gamble. It gets a lot of activity. That's just a fact. But the issue is this kind of stuff. And they're not going to get real DeFi institutional adoption with this kind of culture. And that's just a fact. Like I've already heard rumors going around the industry that certain institutions have great hesitancy actually building on Solana because of some of these things. So
I don't blame them.
Yeah. So how do you explain to investors, like, especially if you're like a validator validating the network, like you just validated a transaction for XYZ coin that may or may not have a like racist name or ties to something problematic. Yeah. So Yeah, I don't know. Solana's a good coin to trade, interesting project. It gets a lot of usage, but definitely some issues. And I just hope that we get like a fundamental season again coming up, and maybe Solana chills out for a bit.
Yeah, I think they need to like grow up a little bit, grow up a little bit, or maybe even better, just keep all the people that aren't grown up that are like literal degens over there, and let the rest of the let the rest of the ecosystem grow.
Yeah, I mean these are open permissionless networks, so this is what you get. But is what it is. So yeah, Solana all-time high. Congrats, nonetheless. Pump fund issues. Hopefully that resolves well. Last thing there is that Polymarket is estimating currently, it was like 97% today, that it gets banned in the United States, which is kind of crazy. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that means very little with VPNs and stuff like that, but it means something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they would make it illegal maybe for you to use it, or I'm not sure how that would work. But okay,
let's see. Well, let's talk a little bit about, again, one of our favorite projects is Mode and AI-Fi.
Oh yeah, wait, Mode. Congrats first. The token basically doubled in like a week, so feel pretty happy about that as investors there. And more so, I'm really happy to see them get the recognition they deserve, because they've been early on a bunch of things. They've been early on AI integrations with DeFi, and we're seeing autonomous agents executing DeFi strategies roll out. And they've been early on like implementing interesting tokenomic models for the L2 token itself. So shout out to them. Great guys over there, and happy to see them doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the past 2 weeks, Giza has launched their, I think it's called ARMA. Their ARMA, I guess it's a strategy. It's a AI yield strategy that will essentially move your USDC or USDT between Ionic, Ironclad, and Layer Bank. And they've rolled it out slowly. There's only 100,000 that's allowed in the contracts right now for another couple weeks, just to make sure they're working okay. And just today, OLAS announced Modius, which is in beta, which is kind of the way I look at it, a developer's toolkit to create AI agents. But they will also be enabling their retail system for normal users here in the next couple of weeks. And all of them are home-based on Mode, operating autonomously, making transactions autonomously with your wallet, to increase your yield so that you don't have to go through with your spreadsheet or piece of paper and figure out what's the optimal thing to do.
Yeah, super cool. And I have it pulled up here. Is the AI Agent App Store, which is there really letting you just browse through these different protocols that allow you to, utilize different AI agent models. And it's very early. They really just put this out there, but I think it's super cool. And they showed the number of agents that they have total operating on the network, total assets under agents, which is a new metric, which I think is pretty cool that they're pioneering on the network. And it's super cool. And I think this is like the other experimentation we've seen with AI agents in crypto so far is along the lines of truth terminal. So everyone's giving AI agents Twitter accounts, and then they're giving them a wallet, and then they're having them tweet, and basically they have their own coin. Sometimes their coin has some form of utility, but usually and sometimes just a meme coin, and people trade them. So it kind of piggybacks on that. But to me, those are just like interesting experiments. Like, it's very cool to see an AI tweet and then like ask for coins, get coins by itself. Like that's pretty crazy. Don't get me wrong. But this is like an adjacent area of development where it's more specified and it's more like tuned for helping you execute your financial activities. It's not some like rogue agent running around. These are like under your control, and they're designed to help you. And this is really the first instance that we've seen in crypto of this working, and they should get the recognition they deserve here. So super cool.
Super cool. And one thing that is sort of at another level of AI outside of this was also announced, and the demo I saw was like off the hook crazy, is Codex by the Conclave guys, which is basically an agentic interface, which is fancy words for you type in what you want and the AI figures it out, creates the transactions automatically for you to review. You swipe to approve, and it goes off across many chains. It bridges, it swaps, it does the LPing automatically for you. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I think I tweeted something like FOH is often used, but this truly deserves it. It's that revolutionary in what it does. It takes the complete knowledge of what you need to know to DeFi away. You don't need to know any of that. You literally type in what you want, swipe your credit card, you give it the money, and it goes, which is just incredible. And I can't wait to see when that gets out of beta and gets released into the wild to real users.
Yeah, I think we're reaching the point with that and other apps. Like I was using Slingshot as well, which is like a multi-chain DEX, but it's just like a mobile app. It feels like using a fintech app. We're getting to the point with like Codex and Slingshot and these other consumer apps, sometimes powered by AI and will increasingly be so, where it's very easy to use crypto now, actually, if you find the right products. And eventually everything is going to be that easy. So it's really good to see that actually play out. And the AI agents are just like the next step in that. So it's really good to see, and happy to use crypto products that actually feel like normal software products. Like I've been trading on Hyperliquid as well recently, which is, I hadn't been doing it before like a month ago. And it's a fantastic product. Like it is amazing. And it's great to see crypto reaching that point.
Yeah. Last thing on this, and this is to James and his great crew at Mode, figure out a way to make this AI sticky to Mode, right? Make sure that Mode collects the revenue or somehow capitalizes on all this effort you're putting into the AI thing. And, I have no doubt you guys will. You seem to have a great roadmap, but that would be the one word here, because it literally is exploding, and you want to make sure that you take advantage of it.
Pump your bags, sir.
Oh, yeah. Pump our bags.
Pump
our bags. We got to pump our bags.
Again, not financial advice. You'll lose all your money if you do follow us.
Right. Exactly.
That's my caveat every single time I bring up a token.
All right.
But yeah, good job, Mode.
Yes.
Pumped about that. Crypto is fun right now. A lot of happening. What's next?
What's next is also fun. G Squared, more or less penned his retirement letter and will be retiring or quitting or whatever on Inauguration Day, January 20th.
Yep.
So he is on the way out. I don't think we've named who the next SEC chair will be quite yet. There's a lot of good examples there, including people that are largely nonpartisan. Or not, I don't want to say that, but they're not crazy partisan. They're just pro crypto.
Yeah,
which is how I would put it. And then the other thing, kind of related to that, is this Besant dude has been nominated for Treasury Secretary, who I believe also is pro crypto, and he's obviously more right-leaning, but not a political tool, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's actually quite astounding how pro-crypto this administration is shaping up to be. And I still don't think all of this has been reflected in markets so far. Like probably in Bitcoin, yes, but in my mind, somewhat ironically, Bitcoin benefits like almost the least from this. It is the highest probability bet in that like Bitcoin's the biggest asset. It's around. It definitely will benefit from this. And then like if you're going down the stack, like you have to like, for example, like a AI agent protocol on Mode. You could be like, yeah, that'll benefit from decreased regulation on the part of the new administration, but you just don't know if that bet is going to hit, so that it doesn't benefit as much. But I think there are the bigger plays like ETH, like some of the big DeFi protocols that directly benefit from this administration, and that hasn't even been played out in the market yet.
No, staking ETFs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the simplest one ever.
100%.
It's the, risk-free digital asset now. Exactly. Period. Risk-free rate for a digital asset.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's none of that.
Lido.
And Lido, Unis, all those we talked about. All those.
Yeah, all of those are great. And again, like just if you look back on how far crypto's come, at least since I've been in it, like I could not have imagined that we've gotten to this point where they are discussing a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States of America, where they're decreasing regulation and promoting crypto, where the president of the United States has a crypto DeFi project built on top of Aave.
Yeah.
Like that is absolutely nuts to me. And the things that can be unlocked are unreal. And I really hope that and not to mention, we're having institutional buy-in. Like we saw the world's biggest financial institution, BlackRock, flip to be very pro Bitcoin, very pro crypto. And all these things are happening at the same time. I just have never been more bullish on crypto, because even when I was around in early 2021, there was still some risk that the industry would just be gone, especially around FTX, around Alameda and 3AC,
Yeah.
Terra Luna. I could go
Oh my
on.
God,
BlockFi.
yeah.
There were so many that blew up. Like there is real risk that the industry would just die out slowly. But I think that risk is actually gone, and that hasn't even been priced in. So to build on that, and just my final statement here is that like super bullish on crypto in America and globally now.
Yeah.
Like this is huge. So
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to add in there, kind of about everyone out there that's not into crypto. Turns out a really good way to get exposure without having to know all those blockchain stuff or even use AI agents are things like Coinbase and Robinhood, which I own because I don't really do some of the really degen stuff. And those are traditional stocks that I don't want to say they're MSTR equivalents, but they certainly reflect, particularly Coinbase, the overall market. And I would expect more like that to come into play so that normal people can benefit or at least invest in these sorts of things.
yeah. I mean, even if you are a new person, again, not financial advice, but like using Coinbase is easy. You just buy Bitcoin, ETH, like a couple big assets. But again, the stocks are great too. Like their profits are directly tied to trading volume in crypto. So it's a very easy business model to understand. And even if like you're the type of person who's like, I still think crypto's a scam, which like come debate me, whatever. But you could be like, whatever, people can gamble, people can speculate. Well, what happens whenever they gamble and speculate? They trade. Those are trading fees that go to Coinbase, go to Robinhood.
Yep.
So those are real profits. So I do like that play, and that's an easy pitch to people who are crypto adjacent or are interested in investing somehow.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is a short episode. We're going to do another episode probably the day after Thanksgiving this week, a little bit quicker because we have stuff to do this weekend. One thing that I'd like to get into in one of those episodes, and this again builds a little bit off Mode, is Barachain, Monad, and some of the upcoming.
I was going to bring that up, actually. That was my next
chains.
Prediction for this episode. I didn't even mention it to you coming in, but I think that. So I think, unpopular opinion, but like the meme coin craze to its fullest extent has been played out, in my opinion. You're still going to see rallies in the biggest meme coins, especially like Doge and others, and that's going to continue for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I think the peak of that kind of part of the market cycle has already occurred. And moving on, we have a few things. So there's a return to the fundamentals, like DeFi, like DePIN, like revenue generating products and projects. That's one. AI is a huge one with AI agents. That's just going to continue. We saw that on Mode. That's another one. And then third is going to be these new chains. So people love new L1s specifically. They always have. That trade has almost always worked in crypto. So you saw Sui rip earlier this year, just hit an all-time high, and people will probably use that more like an alternative to Solana, and that's gotten some attention. So probably some increased activity there. But then Monad and Barachain are, I think, a lot of new, interesting speculative activity is going to move away from Solana and Pump Fund over to these chains. And I think on like Barachain specifically, just because of how it's set up, and we'll see how Monad like develops their ecosystem of apps. But Barachain is going to, I think, ignite a resurgence in like the DeFi games and that we saw in DeFi Summer. I came in right after that actually, but I'm aware of everything that happened. I think we're going to see a resurgence there. It's going to be very interesting mechanics with how the different protocols like interact with each other, and they have very interesting chain level tokenomics. Yeah. So I think that's going to subsidize like these DeFi games. A lot of them will probably be Ponzi's and scams, but I think it's going to be fun. So if you're looking for a new casino, that's where you go, I think.
Yeah, Barachain, much to my chagrin, is all cartoonish bear figures, and their token is called like honey.
The honey's the stable coin native to the. Why don't you like that? I like the branded chain.
It's okay,
dude. They're not trying to be the DeFi series. That's Ethereum's niche. They need a different niche.
I'm the oldest guy in crypto, so that's one thing I do. I tried out their testnet. It does seem fine. The other one, Monad, they're like way into this community thing. It's almost cultish.
What do you mean community?
Like it's almost cultish how they're bringing the. Why did you put Old Man Young?
Because that's you currently.
It's like it's too much focused on building nothingness, like stupid games, rather than building something substantial that can live on.
You haven't noticed that's like 90% of crypto yet?
Oh, it's like the Zeely culture, and I'm sorry, all those people out there on Aurelius that have been bitching about the Zeely but it's like the Zeely culture. Let's bitch as much as we can for $3.
Yeah.
That's the culture that I can't stand. It's like, can we do something better with our time than that?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know, but it's interesting because like that's how you like a lot of these people are just incentivized to get attention, to build community, to just if you get the attention in crypto, you can make a lot of money quickly because it'll pump your coins. That's where all the attention is. That's where it's going. But you're right, it's not like a long-term building strategy.
All right, in that context, so it's like a marketing tool.
Yeah, like a lot of the industry is just marketing. Like it's like vaporware on the back end, or like it's crazy because you can easily fork projects. So like one viable strategy for a project is just forking something that already exists. In back in DeFi summer, what they would do, what SushiSwap did actually, it was called a vampire attack. You would fork the code, then you would just distribute your native governance token in really high APYs to track the liquidity and suck all the liquidity out of Uniswap, for example, like Sushi did, and then bring them over there. There was no like real innovation, and SushiSwap since had actually innovations. I'm I'm just exemplifying this concept, but that's kind of what happens a lot. Fork the technology and then just market it.
Well, I have to say, as much as I don't like Zeely and those other things, when I started I did some of those, they suck you in. And then you have to keep doing it to try and win it. And then you get $10.
Yeah, I never got it.
It's like, it's crazy.
See, I don't understand those games. Like
Oh, another thing that reminds me, everyone out there, after 9 months of waiting for it, Zero Land gave out, is it Pith?
Their Pith allocation.
Pith allocation. And I actually got the exact amount I was supposed to get, and it was actually very substantial. So I was happy about that. And some friends in Twitterland gave me the $1.30 in Solana I needed.
That's nice. What nice guys.
I know, they were very nice guys. I managed to bridge it between two wallets and then bridge it off.
So wait, you're telling me you are a proud owner of Solana?
I have about $20 of Sol.
How do you feel? Feel dirty?
I feel dirty. I feel like I need to go to confession.
You need to take a shower?
Yeah, I need to take a shower. Exactly. In holy water or something.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, my Lord.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, I think that's all good. I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to say here. I don't think there's much else. Just stay safe in the markets. It's a lot of chop at the moment. We're trading down right now, but like, until we get a real definitive move out, I was telling him earlier, like if you're trading at all, I don't like trading these ranges. See where we bottom, and once the bullish trend reestablishes itself, which it will, because I believe we're in like a multi-year bull market, maybe halfway through at this point, but we have some time to go. Then you can resume your trading activities, but in these times, I just sit tight, don't take too much leverage, and just enjoy the craziness.
Sounds good. All right. Well, internet capitalists out there, we will see you in a few days, and make some good trades. Check out some of the protocols that we talked about, and always make your own decisions there.
Yep. None of this was financial advice. If you listen to us, you'll lose all your money. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.